All right. Morning everyone. Let's start off with this. So this is the first class of your CFA level 1. So we need to understand exactly what's there in the syllabus. So before you take a call as to what curriculum or what course or what degree you're going to be pursuing, you need to understand exactly what's there inside the whole syllabus of it. How are you supposed to be preparing? What material are you going to be using? The deadlines, the registration process, where are you supposed to be practicing from, the pass rate, the passing criteria, how are you supposed to be preparing, how many hours are going to be required for your preparation, the eligibility criteria, how can you register. Like say for example, one thing to start with is you cannot even register on the institute website without having a passport. So the passport is going to be the first requirement that you'll have to have. So there are a lot of these things that we need to discuss, and I want to spend more time in discussing exactly the whole curriculum. So irrespective of whether you want to know the syllabus or not, if you're starting off with CFA, you need to understand the whole curriculum, because you will see level 1 and level 2, the number of subjects, the same subjects are going to be there. Level 3, there will be 3 or 4 subjects and all that will be eliminated, and you will see the whole subject is being built up eventually. So you have to know the syllabus in detail, because if you want to understand the connect between 2 topics or 2 subjects, you need to understand the syllabus in detail. And of course, it's very important to understand the syllabus in order to take a call whether you want to do CFA or not want to do CFA. So that's very important to understand that part. So it's not like because a lot of people introduction class, so I'll skip this part. You cannot do that, because you'll have all the information as to how you're supposed to start preparing. This is the first class, right? So take it seriously. Anyways, starting off with this, so the basic overview, I'll discuss the paper pattern also first. So the basic overview of the course would be that when you're looking at, let's say, a chartered accountancy course, be it CPA in USA or be it ACCA when you're looking at UK, or CA in India. When you're looking at chartered accountancy course, one subject in CA is finance. Right? When you're looking at CFA, it is a degree on finance. The chapters probably which you had in a finance subject in your graduation or in your CA, those are going to be the subjects over here. So we are specializing in finance. It's one of the most coveted degrees in finance when you're talking about. So CFA is going to be a degree on finance. The institute is in USA, but the exams are conducted worldwide. You can give one exam in India, the other one in US, the other one in UK. So there is absolutely no problem with that. It is a globally recognized degree. So once you have the charter with you, you can write CFA against your name, right? So it is going to be recognized all over the world. It's the same exam, the same paper that everybody across the world is giving. So the curriculum is very, very global. When you're looking at something like a taxation or an accounting standard, that could depend from country to country. But when you're looking at finance, it is going to be very, very general. So when you're looking at a finance degree, CFA is one of the most coveted degrees. And also when you compare with an MBA, MBA specializes you in finance in the second year, but it is a degree in Masters in Business Administration. So when you're comparing with a B school, of course, there'll be more finance when you're looking at a CFA curriculum, because B school is MBA, Masters in Business Administration, wherein you can take a specialization paper. So when you're looking at finance, you're looking at this one. Also, when you're making a comparison with respect to cost and all, we'll discuss the cost criteria and all. It will cost you, say for example, close to, taking everything into consideration, maybe 2 to 2.25 lakhs or rupees in INR or so. But when you're looking at a B school, it will cost you somewhere around 25 to 30 when you're looking at India. Right, but then again, I would be on a very unbiased note. CFA Institute will not provide you with placement services. A B school does provide you with placement services. So at the second year of your B school college, at your MBA college, you have companies coming over and they absorb you in the campus itself. For CFA, just the way others apply for jobs, you will be applying. CFA Institute portal will have certain columns and all, wherein the job portals and all will help you to get the jobs and all, but there is no proper campus placement that goes on. But even if you're looking like a CA, so CA campus might be placing, let's say 10%, 20% people, the remaining 70, 80, 90% people are finding the jobs themselves, right? So it's not that you'll not be able to find a job. Again, another question that I get is with respect to CFA, when you're looking at salaries in India versus abroad, the salary of a CFA would also not be the same, and so would an MBA salary would also not be the same. Let's say for an IIM XYZ, you will take up an IIM Calcutta or something, and you will see they got a 70 lakh, 80 lakh salary abroad. But the same person will not be getting a 70 lakh, 80 lakh beginning salary in India. Right? So you need to understand these facts. And that's actually another discussion when you're looking at, the number of people who qualify for a B school. Like, say 1,50,000 people give CAT examinations, take CAT examinations, and approximately 4,000, 5,000 seats will be there in the top 10 colleges. So then you look at the pass rates and, building your profile, a lot of things are there. So anyway, so when you're looking at finance, we are definitely looking at CFA degree. And when you're looking at the FRM curriculum, financial risk management, that is also a degree in finance, but then that takes into the risk management area. It specializes in risk management, but again it's a degree in finance with the specialization in the risk management area. When you're looking at a course like a CAIA, that's alternate investments into alternate investments. Alternate investment is a subject in CFA. CAIA is a degree on that subject. So just the way CA is a degree in which one subject is finance, we are doing a full-fledged degree on finance over here. In the finance, there is a subject called alternate investments. CAIA is a degree on that subject. When you're looking at risk management, is in level 3, there is one subject of risk management. FRM is a full degree on that. Credit risk is a subject in FRM. CCRA that I've completed is a full degree on that credit risk part. So it is about specialization that you move forward with. So CFA is a degree on finance. Let me give you the paper pattern and the exam date and all that first, and then I'll move into the syllabus so you'll have a good idea about it. When you're looking at CFA, we have level 1s, levels 2 and level 3. When you're looking at level 1, it takes place in June and December both, but level 2 takes place in June and June only. So you can complete the paper. The shortest duration in which you can crack your CFA examinations would be 1.5 years. Giving December, May level 1, you're giving level 1 in December. Immediately in the June, you give level 2. And the next year, June, you give level 3, assuming you're going to be passing in all the 3 attempts, in all the 3 levels in the first attempt itself. Now, when you're looking at a level 1, so how are the paper patterns given? So the exam always takes place on the first Saturday of the month. So say for example, we take a level 1 exam Saturday, you will have 2 exams, 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So there are 2 3-hour papers that will be there for levels 1, 2 and 3, all the 3. So you'll have 2 papers. Level 1 will be 9 to 12 o'clock on a Saturday, on the first Saturday, and 2 to 5 on the same day itself. So 1 day exam, 1 day exam and 1 day exam. When you're looking at level 1, you will have 120 MCQs in the first half and 120 MCQs in the second half. So your paper is going to be absolutely MCQ based. Now MCQ, doing 120 MCQ in 180 minutes is not going to be a problem. Time crunch is not an issue when you're looking at CFA level 1. The questions are going to be divided into 10 subjects. So I'll discuss the curriculum in detail. We'll have the ethics, we'll have quants, economics, financial reporting analysis. I'll discuss every single subject in detail. Every single subject will have, say for example, ethics will be 18 questions. Then you'll have 14 questions on quants. Then you have 12 questions on economics. Towards the end, you'll have 4 to 5 questions on alternate investments. So the percentage distribution for every single subject has been defined. There is no negative marking. There are only 3 options, A, B and C. There is no negative marking, and the questions are not jumbled up. They are going to be on a subject-wise basis. So subject first will be ethics, then will be quants, then will be the other subjects. Similarly, in the 2 to 5 paper, that is another 3-hour paper, you'll again have the subjects, you'll again have the questions and all, exactly the first 18 questions ethics, next 14 quants and all. When you're given a grade in the exam, once your results are out, you'll be given a grade on the total of both the papers. So it's not like you'll have 5 subjects here and 5 subjects here. You'll have a total of 10 subjects in total over here, right? So when you'll be graded on the 10 subjects, so 240 questions, right? So you'll be graded on per subject wise, on a per subject wise basis over here. So that is your grading part. When you get a grade, alright, let me do the part first, then I'll come to the grading portion of it. When you're looking at your level 2 curriculum, again it's going to be a Saturday, 9 to 12 and 2 to 5 will be your paper. But over here it becomes 60 MCQs and 60 MCQs. You again have no negative marking and only 3 options, right? The number of questions have become halved in the same time frame, but then time crunch is a problem for level 2. Now try and understand, you're having half the number of questions in the same time frame, but then there will be a little bit, not so much as you're not able to fill up the paper, because anyways it's MCQ, but you have to be very quick with your thinking. That we will take care of it. Your foundation for level 1 has to be very, very strong. We'll discuss that part. So level 2, you'll have 60 MCQs, 9 to 12, and 2 to 5 again you'll have 60 MCQs. Now the pattern in level 2, what happens is, you are going to be given a full-fledged passage maybe that is running across 2 pages and all, and then you'll have questions 1 to question 6 on 1 passage. This is known as an item set. And 60 questions ke liye, for 60 questions you'll be having 10 item sets. That is how you'll have 60 questions. So there'll be 2 page worth of essay kind of something. It's technically not essay, it's some case study kind of given. And on the basis of that, there'll be 6 MCQs. Again, no negative marking and 3 options each. The time frame, the time management and all, you don't have to be scared. When you were in class 6, you were not planning class 10 ka studies. So it will happen as you move forward. The only thing you need to remember is you're not allowed to mug up. Because try and understand, there are no negative marking. There are only 3 MCQs, 3 options in per MCQ. It cannot be that easy, right? And the pass rates are going to be somewhere close to 38, 35% to 45% bracket. Generally, that is a pass rate which is quite decent, which is quite a bit good, right? Now, with those kind of pass rate, with only MCQ and three options and no negative marking, the questions, if you're mugging up, you are not. It's not the right course for you. I'll be very upfront and very honest. Your understanding needs to be very good. So that part, I'll take care of it. You don't need to worry about it. You will be proven almost 80 to 90% of the formulas will be proving in the class. And it's not like very high level maths. You don't need high level maths for this, right? You just need to have an open mind that you are going to be understanding the content. So keep that part in mind. When you're looking at level 3, you'll again have 9 to 12 and 2 to 5. This one will be your 60 MCQs as before, just the same in this case. But this is going to be essay type questions. When you're looking at essay type questions, they are technically not essays that we write when you're looking at an Indian education point of view. What happens is they call the objective answers just because it's a written answer kind of paper. Therefore, we call it an essay type questions. It is not technically that you have to write essays. In fact, your question could be, you have a question, they will tell you option 1, 2, 3, you circle the right option and you write 2 points about it. And they will give you a full-fledged template in which you have to fill up your answers. So it is going to be very objective type questions. What we call those 2 mark, 3 mark objective questions in the Indian context, that is going to be your essay type questions. They call it essay type. So you don't need to be scared about it. But be scared about one fact, that writing roundabout nonsense is not going to qualify over here. So either you know the answer, you write the correct answer. Writing roundabout stories and all, which probably we people do at times in college or school exams, that is absolutely not going to be working over here. So you have to be thorough and you have to have the full understanding of the subject. So that is the pattern of study. That is a pattern of your exam. The registrations will be happening in India. You can register for the institute online. You'll have to definitely submit your passport number when you're registering, and but you don't have to go anywhere and give the exam. Your registration, your exam center could be absolutely anywhere across the globe. Right? So they have almost all the exam centers, all the major cities will be having, like if you're looking at India, I think Pune, Kolkata, Delhi, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, you'll have all the cities having the exam centers. So that will not be an issue. And you can, even if you're relocating to another city or to another country altogether, you can again reschedule your exam in those countries later on. So that will not be an issue for you. So this is your exam pattern. When you're looking at pass rates, it's going to be somewhere around 35 to 45%, somewhere between that, which is quite a decent pass rate. But again, before you actually judge that, you know, it's MCQ and 35 to 45% pass rate, so I'll definitely get through. Before that, I'll tell you, for every time you give an exam, the exam fees is quite high. So the registration fees, depending on which deadline you're registering for, like suppose for June, if you register by the month of September, you have to pay somewhere close to $1,190 or so. But the moment you register, the next deadline is February, you end up paying a $1,310 or $1,340 or something like that. $1,300 approximately. And when you register by March, it increases significantly. So of course, the next deadline that we're looking at is generally people will be registering with the February deadline when they're looking at the June exam. When you're looking at December exam, again, your registration could, your first deadline will be somewhere around in March or so. The second deadline will again come in August and the third deadline in September. So second deadline is when you would want to register ideally. Because say for example, if you clear June, level 1 in June, you will be able to register for level 2 in the September month in the early deadline. But if you're giving the exam in December level 1, in that case, you will have to register for level 2 in the second deadline. So one exam automatically gets registered in the within the first deadline and the second one in the second deadline. If you give the exam again, your exam fees will be around $650 or something, which will cost you almost 50,000 rupees when you're converting it into INR. So that is why it's not like a regular exam where you pay 2,000, 1,000, 3,000 exam fees and keep on giving the exam. The exam is going to be quite expensive. So actually everybody treats these exams very, very seriously because the exam is expensive. So you're going to be passing out, your pass rate is 35% out of all those people who are actually studying, right? And so I'll discuss quite a few things a little later. So this is your exam pattern and these your deadlines. You can always view it on the website. CFAinstitute.org would be the website of the CFA Institute. You can always find the deadlines. But generally, when you're looking at the June exams, your first deadline would be September, second in March, and third in the month of second in February, and the third in the month of March. When you're looking at December, the first in March, the second deadline for registration for December exam would be August, and the third deadline would be September. Third deadline tak to, no point deferring to third deadline and paying extra, so that does not make sense. So this is your exam pattern, passing rates. Let me discuss the syllabus, the scope of the CFA curriculum first, and then I want to start with the syllabus discussion. Then I will get into anything else. So when you're looking at the scope of CFA curriculum, you can be looking at portfolio managers, mutual funds, all these fund houses, those who take your money and then they invest in the market. You could be looking at equity analysts who are doing valuations for the company and deciding as to which stock to invest in, what stock to not invest in. You could be looking at investment bankers who are looking at the mergers and acquisitions. Sun Pharma is buying Ranbaxy. Indigo, say for example, is showing interest to purchase Air India. So when you're looking at any kind of takeovers, acquisitions, valuations, because you need to decide as to what will be the value of the company when you are purchasing a company. So doing that valuation and all is going to be a part of your mergers acquisitions part. When you are a part of the company, say for example corporate finance, I'll discuss, that's a subject we have. So corporate finance would be you are working in the finance department of any XYZ company. It could be a telecom company, it could be an oil company, it could be an infrastructure, FMCG, any company. Let's say you're working in the finance department of Hindustan Unilever. Now you will have to take decisions. Now say suppose company needs money. So whether to take more loan or whether to raise through equity shares, what is a good idea? How much dividend should I give out? Should I give more dividend, less dividend? What are the future avenues of investments? Should I open a factory over here? If I open the factory, this much machine, this much investments would be required. Will I be able to make those profits? How will you do the valuations? Right? What kind of debt equity ratio should I maintain? How should my company run? So, when you're looking at the finances of the company, so any kind of a finance role, you would be looking at CFA curriculum, you'd be looking at the finance curriculum, right? It's not about stock market, because a lot of people have a perception that you're doing CFA, that means you're going to enter the stock market. No, it's not that. Anything remotely related to finance, you're an exporter or importer. You need to understand what will be the implication of the dollar rates or the rupee rates changing. And on the basis of that, how should you plan your finances? So how should you manage? Should I give a 2-month credit period to my debtors, or should I give them only 1 month to pay me back the money? So kitna ka udhari dena? How much of credit period to give? So everything ultimately is going to boil down to money related calculations. So whenever you're looking at money, it is going to be this. So suppose interest rates are increasing or decreasing in the economy. So based on that, I should be like, if interest rate is going to increase, let me not do fixed deposit today, let me do it a little later, because then I'll be able to do an FD for 10 years or something at a higher interest rate. So whether it's a financial advisor, whether it's a portfolio manager, an equity analyst, an investment banker, you'll be finding all these roles, or a corporate finance, any finance designation in a company. Of course, CFA has got nothing to do with the taxation part of it. So if you want to be a tax consultant or a lawyer or a corporate law and all, this is not the right designation for you. So I will discuss the subject in detail, and you need to understand whether you're liking the curriculum or not. If you like the curriculum, you should do the course, and if you want to see yourself, in future in this kind of an avenue, then you should go ahead with it. Otherwise, you should not go ahead with it. A tax consultant is also a very good job, but I don't like taxation, so that's not for me. A legal advisor can be making tons of money, but that is not my cup of tea. I don't like that, so that is not for me. I like finance, I enjoy finance, therefore I will be doing very good with finance. So whatever you're enjoying, whatever you're gonna like to do, you should be basing your decisions on that. And again, a lot of people talk about like, I want to do finance, I'll go for a B school and all. Great, but then go for it once you get an admission in the top 5 to 10 B schools. And even the people who are there in the B schools are looking at CFA designation and all, because it is going to add a global value to your resume. And CFA is a course on finance, not business administration. So understand the difference. Also, till the time you get into a good B school, you need to build a profile for that. So I'm not saying CFA is a backup course or something. Definitely not. It's a course on finance. So every course is different, and you need to understand what the particular designation is going to give you. So please have that clarity, because I see a lot of people making decisions on the basis of wrong information or wrong notions, right? So I think we'll move on to a very different tangent if we start discussing this. So this is your paper pattern. Let me discuss the syllabus, then I'll come back to you. So when you're looking at the curriculum, your first subject is going to be ethics. Now the institute divides its own, the total curriculum, you'll be having around 60 readings. 60 readings. We call chapters readings. We call chapters as readings over here. So you'll have about 60 readings or so, approximately 50 in level 2 and 34 or something in level 3. So you have 60 readings, 60 chapters in level 1. Now when you're looking at the subjects, we have 10 subjects. So all those 60 readings have been divided into 10 subjects. So you don't have to think of 10 subjects as 10 huge subjects. Like one subject is alternate investment and the subject is only 30 pages long. So that is a different topic. But it is only one reading. There is only one reading in alternate investments and that is only 30 pages long. So one subject is 30 pages. So first of all, don't panic that there are 10 subjects that we need to study. It's not like 10 subjects that we are studying, right? So the first subject is going to be ethics. Now the whole entire curriculum, the 60 readings has been divided into 18 study sessions. So it is just terminology, nothing great. What we've done is there are 60 chapters, 60 readings. We have grouped them into 18 study sessions. Every study session has a few readings. So 60 readings categorized into 18 study sessions, and 18 study sessions have got certain number of subjects. So like ethics has only one study session. The next subject, quants, will have 2 study sessions. Ethics will have, let's say, 3 or 4 readings inside, 4 readings I believe. Quants will have, let's say, in each study session it has got about 4 to 5 readings. So 10 readings are there in quants. So it is just the way the terminology works. But you know, it is very good the way the institute gives out the syllabus, because you have 18 study sessions, which is like 2 study sessions is in quants. Then we'll have economics, we'll have again 2. So we'll have these 10 subjects which have a certain number of study sessions. It has got, let's say, 8 readings. For every reading, let's say economics has reading number, let's say 14 is on demand and supply, let's say. Now demand and supply, then the institute has divided the whole curriculum into 14A is a subheading 1. Your syllabus is very well defined. The whole curriculum is very well defined because you have 18 study sessions, which is 10 subjects. You have readings inside every study session, 4 to 5, total 60 readings. Every reading, like suppose you are looking at chapter number 54 or reading number 54. So 54A, B, 54C, 54D, 54F, 54G. So all the subheadings are also categorized and designed for you. So there is no scope, because you have to see it's a global exam. So you have to understand that the very clear definition of syllabus and all has to be given. So suppose an LOS is talking about explain so and so, and there is another LOS that is saying, we call it learning outcome statement. Every single subheading 14A, 14B, 14C is known as a learning outcome statement. Basically the idea is that this subheading you need to understand this part. So explain so and so. So that LOS, that learning outcome statement, that subheading should deal with this part. If there is an LOS saying calculate this, then sums can come in that part. So it's so clearly very well defined because the curriculum is very global. So you need to have that kind of level of definition for the curriculum. So anyways, so we'll discuss each and every single reading as to what is there in your syllabus. So when you're looking at ethics, that is the first curriculum. There are generally 2 parts to this. There are 3-4 readings. The first reading is nonsense. It's what is ethics, what is profession, rubbish. 4-5 pages stuff. The second one is going to talk about 7 standards. Now say for example, if suppose my friend is working in an XYZ company, he comes out of the board meeting, he calls me up and he tells me that, you know, my company is going to show this much profit and all, you go and buy the share. Do you think that is legal, that is allowed? That is not allowed, because that is illegal, that is insider trading. You cannot give out privileged confidential information of your company and allow your friend to trade on that. That is not allowed. Say for example, suppose I'll give you another one. Let's say I am working as an equity analyst in an XYZ company. Now my client, this company is managing 20 clients. Now one of the clients paid me, he gave me 50,000 and he told me that you build my portfolio very well. Now that is unethical without taking the permission of the employer, because what if I'm going to bias and do only the work of that particular client? Don't you think that is becoming a little incorrect over there? Are you understanding what I'm saying? Or maybe I've taken a difficult example. Let's say I'm doing a research on an XYZ company. Alright, now that XYZ company sponsored a holiday for me. They took me around to their factory. They made me stay in a 5-star hotel and they gave me all those 5-star facilities and amenities. Now what I do is, I say that this company I give it out a buy rating. On Money Control, on my website, on my website, I put in that this company is a very good company. You should definitely buy that. Do you think I have been wrong somewhere? It is unethical to do that because someone is paying you, someone is, flattering you. You are supposed to be giving an unbiased opinion as to whether this company is a buy company or a sell company. As an analyst, because you are a financial advisor, people are looking up to you for advice. By taking a lot of gifts and all from this company, and because of that you're saying that this company is a very good company, that is absolutely incorrect. So we need to make a lot of standards. Now when you understand, lawyers, doctors, teachers, financial advisors, these are professions, they are not businesses. They need to be treated with that kind of dignity and that kind of ethics. When you're looking at, like, let's say a financial advisor, come to think of it, a doctor is placing, when you go to a doctor, you're placing your life under him. When you go to a financial advisor, you're placing all your funds under him, which will take care of your children's marriages, which will take care of your retirement, which will take care of your future holidays and all your savings. You've saved your hard-earned money. He's not supposed to be fooling around with that. He's not supposed to be playing around with that. So we need certain rules and standards based on which us CFA candidates, we are supposed to be behaving. We are supposed to be following those ethics and all. Right? Now say for example, I take up someone's report, I copy paste that report and sell it out as my report. That is unethical, that is plagiarism. So we have 7 standards based on which us members are supposed to be behaving. That 7 standards is going to be very important when you're looking at the ethics curriculum. I'll give you an example. Rajat Gupta. How many of you have heard of his name? So he was a part of an insider trading scam. He called up his friend and gave him details about what happened in his board meeting, and his friend traded on that information. His friend bought and sold shares on the basis of that confidential information, and he was put behind bars in US. Now we should not have Satyam kind of scams, right? You should not have this kind of an issue. So that is what ethics is going to be there. And even when you're registering, you go to the CFA Institute website, you register for your exams, there'll be a lot of disclosures you have to give. That you have never been convicted of any felony, you've never been a part of any kind of insider trading. So you have to give a lot of disclosures that you've never been ethical, because Institute is very strong on that. The same 7 standards will be there in levels 1, level 2 and level 3. And Institute treats ethics very, very seriously. Same 7 standards are tested in all the 3 levels. Out of 120 questions, 18 questions, about 15% of your weightage is given to ethics. The questions, generally what happens is, out of 18 questions, you'll find at least 12 questions or so, which will say that so-and-so CFA did so-and-so, like they will give you like a 4-5 line story, and then they will ask you which standard is being violated over here. Standard this one, or standard this one. So the question will be very, very analytical. It will not be like you have to mug up the standards. There's no mugging up business here, right? And it is very confusing. Ethics is going to be a confusing topic because it's very subjective. Like, something, they'll confuse you, and that is very normal. So we have we have a summary sheet like around a 12-15 page sheet which covers around 700-800 examples. So when we start off with the curriculum, you'll understand, it will not be an issue. All I'm trying to say is, 1, the subject is important. 7 standards are the same in the levels 1, 2 and 3. So around 12 questions or 13 questions could be coming in from the standards, and it is same in all the 3 levels. Institute gives a lot of importance, and it is going to be relatively subjective. So ethics is a subject wherein practice will be very important. So for teaching ethics, I'll take hardly 5-6 hours. So I'll take 2 classes on ethics. But then when you're looking at the exam point of view, your contribution in ethics will be much more, because you'll have to practice a lot. Because to teach, it's only 7 standards. You will have to practice a lot, and there is no substitute to it. Anyways, moving on to the next part is called GIPS. That is the next reading in ethics, Global Investment Performance Standards. Now, when you look at a product, at times they have an ISI marks stamped, right? It talks about the credibility of the product. A CA, a chartered accountant, is supposed to sign your balance sheet and PL account and all, so that you know that, okay, this statement has been made correctly, the chartered account has verified all that, correct? Similarly, suppose an XYZ fund is telling you that we people earn 20% in the market. There is another PQR fund that tells you that we people earn 40% in the market. There is another ABC fund, they are commenting that we have earned 32% of the fund of returns in the market. Now, how do you compare? How do you verify that? There is a problem. Because this guy might be doing an average of 2 years, because 3rd year, 4th year and 5th year before, he had very bad profits. This guy might be doing an average of 10 years, because last 2 years was very bad profit. So by taking a 10-year average, this guy is maintaining a good return. Don't you think there is a problem? As investors, because ultimately you're looking at their fund returns, and you will be investing based on that. So don't you think you would want to have a standard way, like, let me see if all the fund houses calculated their stock returns in the same way, then what would be their returns? Don't you think that would be a more comparable figure to look at? They should be making their statements in the same manner, right? This guy is so fooling you. This guy is trying to fool you because I had poor returns 3rd, 4th and 5th year back. So therefore I'll take only 2 years average. That's absolutely trying to fraud the investor. So we need certain standards that everybody should follow and report their fund returns on that basis. That is global investment performance standards. Like you have accounting standards based on which you prepare accounts. Similarly, you have these investment performance standards based on which you should be presenting your investment returns. That is GIPS in ethics. Right, everybody understanding this bit? So this subject is your ethics. So it'll have hardly 3-4 readings. The content is small. The only requirement is your practice. And you don't have to be scared. We'll take care of it. Quants. The second reading, the second subject is going to be your quants, which has 2 study sessions. Now, when you're looking at quants, we are primarily looking at annuity, we are looking at probability, we are looking at stats, and a little bit of application of stats. And there is another technical analysis. So there will be around 8-9 readings or so when you're looking at quants. Now the first question which I get is, if I did not have 11 and 12 mathematics or statistics, if I had business maths, or if I did not have maths at all, or if I was not good at maths, you don't have to worry about it. It is absolutely going to be taken care of. Because when you're looking at mathematics, we're not looking at trigonometry, calculus or anything. We're looking at basics like a unitary method. I'll be using unitary method to prove almost all the formulas for you. We could be looking at maybe just, you don't need to know the whole of logarithm and the logarithmic table, but a basic that a to the power x is equal to y, therefore log y base a is equal to x. Only this much of logarithm I'll use probably. I'll not use anything more of logarithm. So there would be a basics, but when you're looking at the quant section, one part is annuity, which is time value of money, like a compound interest, simple interest. So if I put 100 in the bank today at let's say 10% rate of interest, if I put 100 in the bank today at time 0, we will talk about today as 0, for 4 years at 10%. So this has to become 100 into 1.10 to the power 4, because 100 will become 1.1 times, then that total amount will become again 1.1 times, because you'll get interest on interest. This is nothing but a compound interest formula, principal into 1 plus r to the power n. Principal into 1 plus r to the power n. Now, so we need to do a lot of time value calculations. Now let me give you one another example. Suppose if you have an investment, you can make an investment of 200 today, you will get 50, 50, 50 and let's say 60 over here. Do you think the project is a good idea? You are getting a total of 210 in the future year by investing 200 today. Do you think it's a good idea? 10 is a profit over here? It might not be a good idea, because on 200, if you put the money in bank, it will automatically give you 220 over here. So when you have calculations, when you have money amounts on different time periods, you need to discount them, compound them, apply interest rates and do certain calculations. That will be the first reading that we will start with when we start with the syllabus. So quants is going to be, so the first part is doing all the money related calculations. Like say for example, if I want to calculate an EMI for a loan I'm taking, it is not difficult. The way I'll teach you will be totally unitary method based. So suppose if I put 100 over here, it becomes how much? 121, 1331, 146.41. If I put 100 over here, in 4 years the amount becomes 1464.1. Using a unitary method, if I put 1 over here, how much will it become? 1.4641. If I want 1 over here, how much do I have to put in the bank account today? 1.4641 today. 1 into 1.10 to the power 4 was compounding. 1 divided by 1.10 to the power 4 is discounting. So I'm not here to teach you. Today it's not about to teach you exactly this part. But are you understanding things can be simplified in such a manner? So annuity, I will be proving all the formulas with compound interest formula. So you don't have to be scared about maths. When you're doing probability, you've done something called Bayes theorem for those who've done maths in 11 and 12. Now when you're looking at the formula of Bayes theorem, you would not remember. I would also not remember the formula. But I can prove the formula in 5 minutes, and so will you be able to do. We will draw an arrow diagram, conditional, joint, I don't know any formula. I'll hardly give you maybe one formula that P A union B is what. So for those who did not have maths, don't get scared. What I'm trying to tell you is maths is very easy. And I will be doing everything from scratch. Like statistics will have mean, median, mode, standard deviation. And we'll have to develop a little bit over here, which was anyways not covered in 11 and 12. So whatever we are doing over here, the basic mean, median, mode and standard deviation you already know. And that too, we will be doing from scratch in class over here. And also when you're looking at standard deviation, you have just mugged up the formula, correct? You will be understanding the formula over here. You will know exactly how the formula has been derived. So for those who are little scared of mathematics, give it a shot before you take a call. So even on YouTube, you'll have 3-4 classes, 5 classes of quants uploaded. You see that and then you take a call whether you can or you cannot. But if you're understanding, if you're open to understanding the facts and quants, it's going to be absolutely fine. So there is probability, statistics, annuity, a little bit of extra statistics. Again, statistics is a new subject from scratch, so it's not maths technically, right? So don't worry about it. And the last one is your technical analysis. Technical analysis will discuss about how your stock prices ka charts and all are there. So how do you study those charts and how do you understand? It's very, very basic, very preliminary. Technically, it's not anything to do with quants. It's not a part of maths. It's just put in the subject quants over here. But technical analysis will be how the stock prices are moving, how do you study those charts and all. And it is very basic, very, very preliminary. So that is what we do in the quant subject. Is everybody comfortable till here? So this is what we have in quant. So anybody who did not have it in 11 and 12, don't you dare worry about it. It's absolutely fine, right? You can be using an application, let's say a to the power x to the power y is equal to a to the power xy. So if I'm using index numbers, I'll be using these 2-3 formulas in index numbers. So you cannot say that I'm not comfortable with maths with this kind of a formula. Right? That's all we are going to use. Then we are looking at economics, which has got about 7-8 readings or so. There are primarily 3 parts to the economics section: microeconomics, macroeconomics, and we have the international economics. So economics could be a little boring for a lot of people over here because you've already done it in 11 and 12, and then you also study the same thing in college. So at times it becomes a little repetitive for some people. But again, I'll tell you, for even those who have done economics, people generally find the paper difficult in the exam for economics because you have to be very, very good with your understanding and concepts. It's not that you're drawing a graph in the exam. So you have to have your concepts very strong. So don't get overconfident with economics. And I'll tell you exactly how to practice and prepare. So once we start with eco, I'll tell you exactly in which order to study and how to go about it and all. But economics microeconomics will be demand and supply. And even for those who are, because a lot of non-finance background people, non-commerce background people, finance is a different stream, non-commerce background people enter doing CFA. So just the way, B schools have a lot of engineers doing an MBA and they take up finance. So similarly, it is possible that you could be a non-commerce student and could be pursuing CFA. I've got good number of students that way. So they also have this question that, will I be able to manage because I have not done economics? It's fine. Like the commerce people might be finding quants a little more difficult and they have to put in a little extra effort. It's possible that the non-commerce people will have to put a little extra effort in economics and let's say FRA. I'll tell you that subject as well. So don't have to make that comparison because finance is a different subject altogether. So when you're looking at economics, you have the micro section, demand, supply, cost of production, and all those basics calculations. When you're looking at macroeconomics, it will be like, the monetary policy. What is going to be done by the central bank? Government should be increasing or decreasing taxes. The government should be spending more in the market or less in the market. So money multiplier, fiscal multiplier, all of that. And the total output, the GDP, the gross domestic production, the total output of the economy as a whole. And when you're looking at the international part, that will be the interesting part. The one reading will be on, how are two countries going to trade. So the country which is producing something cheaper should manufacture that, and the company that is producing another good which is at a cheaper rate, they should manufacture that and they should exchange the two, because you should manufacture what you specialize in. You'll be able to produce more output and then you can trade with each other. So international trade, a little bit of what is World Bank and all. And more importantly, you'll have a reading called currency. So how do you do the calculations on the currency rates, the dollar-rupee rates and all? How do you make forecast of dollar-rupee rates and all the calculations and all the theory as to whether the rupee per dollar rate will increase, the dollar will appreciate from 65 to 67. When you have 65 rupees per dollar to 67, dollar is appreciating, rupee is depreciating. Because $1 was earlier being able to purchase 65 rupees worth of goods and services. Now that same $1 can purchase 67 rupees and buy goods and services worth 67 rupees in the market. And rupee is depreciating because 1 rupee was able to purchase 1/65th of a dollar. and purchase goods and services with that. But now the same rupee is going to be able to purchase only 1/67th of a dollar, less number of dollars, and therefore the purchasing power of rupee is going down. Is everybody with me? So international economics is going to be very interesting, and when you move to level 2, it's only the international economics that you'll be studying, because level 2 you'll have a full-fledged reading on currency, and it's amazingly interesting, and especially with the kind of globalization we have, and you know, it's very important that we understand the exchange rates and the implications. So that is going to be your economics for you. Just let me see what's your next subject. I want to go in the serial order. 1 second. Alright, after economics, we have the financial reporting analysis. When you're looking at FRA, you have 4 study sessions on FRA. That's going to be 1 full book. So if you see your curriculum, the 10 subjects are divided into 5 books. I'll discuss the books and material after this. So when you're looking at FRA, now when you're looking at accounts, you're not here to make accounts. There is no journal entry that you'll pass. There is no ledger that you'll make. You're not going to prepare annual report. But looking at an annual report, reading an annual report, you're supposed to be competent to understand what's there inside it. You're supposed to be able to understand the annual report, comprehend the annual report. Now say for example, I take up 2 annual reports of TCS and Infosys. Both are in the IT domain. I should be able to look at the annual reports, analyze the annual reports and compare where Infosys is doing better and where TCS is doing better. By looking at an annual report, is there any possibility? Do I see any fraud or anything that is going on? So, you know, understanding and analyzing and interpreting the annual reports is your job. So, your job is not going to be to make accounts. Your job is going to be able to read, understand and analyze those accounts. We are not going to be here to make accounts. Financial reporting analysis. Now, obviously, the non-commerce people will be finding this a little difficult because you don't have any idea about accounts and all. So, you might have to do a little bit of reading, but we will start from scratch. So, you don't have to worry about it, right? So, there will not be any problems as such. Of course, you'll have to put in a little extra effort, maybe do the class again or something. Maybe you have to read it taking more time, but that's about it. The first reading talks about what is US GAAP, what is IFRS. In India, we follow the standards given by the CA Institute. In US, we follow the standards called US GAAP. Globally, we are trying to have a common set of standards called IFRS. So what are those standards? What is asset? What is liability? What is journal? What is ledger? So there are very basic stuff over here. Now when you want to find out about the company has its annual reports. There are quarterly reports. Company files a lot of documents which is available on MCA portal for India, mca.gov.in. So how many resources are there? So many resources are there to find out the data about the company. So all those things in the first reading. Very theoretical, hardly takes me 2-3 hours to cover all the 3 chapters, all the 3 readings. Very simple. The next reading is the next study session has 4 readings. 1 on your balance sheet, 1 on your PL account, 1 on your cash flow statement, 1 on your ratio analysis. So it is going to be like, you know, it's going to be a little interesting. It's going to be quite interesting. And for the commerce people, non-commerce, of course, you'll have to understand. But what is a balance sheet? All the elements we'll analyze. We'll not make. I'm not here to make a balance sheet. I'm not here to make a profit and loss account. I'm here to compare that company X did so and so and made its profit and loss account. Company Y followed another method and made its profit and loss account. So how do I make a comparison between those 2 companies? Because you cannot have a comparison between apples and oranges. You have to either do some adjustment. Like say for example, had this company also followed this company's method, then what would their balance sheet and PL accounts look like? And then I will be able to make a comparison. Right? So all those balance sheet, profit and loss account and cash flow statement. For those from non-commerce, if you're not understanding, it's fine. So we'll discuss how these reports are made. Ratio analysis. Now in schools, school level 11 and 12, you've been taught that higher the profit, better the company. But now, suppose your industry, let's say you are from a rubber industry. Your industry's income is, let's say, 11% or so. Or let me take another better example, DMart. DMart's IPO was listed recently. Now, when I'm talking about Reliance Fresh and all these companies, their margins are about 4% or so, 3%, 4% or so. DMart's margin is 8-9%. Now, you will say that it's a very good company. But first of all, I need a justification. Maybe the management is putting in wrong figures and trying to take advantage of the shareholders. It's possible. Satyam scam happened. These people were showing good profits. Nobody bothered to see where the profits are coming from. Right? So you need to analyze. Even if the profit is very high. Why is the profit very high? You give me a justification. DMart's justification is there because they own most of the stores and therefore their rental cost is very, very minimal. There is almost zero because they own all their stores and therefore they have an additional 3-4% margin. Whereas all these other Reliance Fresh and Aditya Birla More and all, these people have a huge rental cost. Therefore, their margins are lower. But if you're not able to justify with a reason as to why your profitability is higher, there is a problem. That there's another stream of business that is called forensic accounting. Forensic accounting means that wherever there is a fraud, you're trying to discover any kind of frauds, any kind of issues that's there by looking at the balance sheets and annual reports and all. Like say for example, another metric we see is, suppose a company's net profit is increasing, but the company's cash flow from operations has started decreasing. You are saying you are earning this much profit, but you're not receiving it in cash. Why? Analyze. So you are not here to make accounts, you're here to analyze accounts. That's going to be your job. You're understanding? So those who don't like accounts, it's not about accounts. You're not making accounts. You're understanding financial reports. You're understanding that. So it'll be very, very interesting. In the third reading, we take specific topics: inventory, treatment of taxation, some assets, and some long-term liabilities. Like if you take a lease, if you are issuing bonds or debentures in the market, how do you do the accounting for that and all those issues? So there are 4 particular readings where one is focused on inventory, one is focused on taxation, one is focused on assets, and one is focused on liabilities. Let's say treatment of goodwill. Treatment of in case an asset's value is going down, how do you impair those assets? So I'll not be able to discuss more in detail because it's quite technical. It's very interesting. It's an amazingly interesting topic. So it's not accounts, it's interpretation of accounts. It's analyzing accounts, not making those. And the fourth one is a very childish LOS. Basically what we are doing is, I will cover the fourth LOS study session with these chapters only. Basically, how the manipulation is happening, I'll keep on discussing whenever I encounter any topic. So it's more like a summary of these readings over here. Because I would have already covered this. It will hardly take me a couple of hours to complete this whole fourth study session. So don't look at it like a huge subject or a huge reading. So there are small portions over here. I'll take more time in these 4 readings, of course. I'll take almost 1.5 to 2 classes per subject, per chapter. But in this one, I'll complete like 2 readings in like half a class or so. Is everybody comfortable till here? Understanding the syllabus? So this is your financial reporting analysis. Then we move to the next subject. That is your corporate finance, portfolio and derivatives, corporate finance, portfolio and equity in this book. You have about 2 study sessions on corporate finance. When you're looking at corporate finance, as I was discussing, you are sitting inside the company. You are a part of the finance department of the company. What kind of decisions you need to make? Whom should I take money from? Should I raise money from equity shareholders or should I take a loan? With their money, where should I put this on? There are 5 different projects I can invest in. Which project is a better idea? Like if I invest $200 million today, my project is going to give me these kind of returns in the future. Project A, Project B, Project C, Project D. Which one do I invest in? Which project is better? So one is cost of capital when you're raising capital. The other one is how do you budget that capital? Where do you invest in? The next one would be leverage. So how will, there is a company with a huge fixed cost. There is a company with a huge amount of interest cost. So analyzing that. So is it a good idea to invest in a company which is very high on interest or very low on interest? So comparison, leverage, we'll come to that. Then you have working capital management. How much of money should you block in your inventory, debtors? So all your current asset, working capital management. So how do you manage your working capital? The treasury department of your companies, that is going to be with respect to working capital management and all. So all those things. And then the corporate governance. Now the shareholders put money in the business. The management of the business is being done by the CEO, CFO and the management. So are they doing the management of the company very well, properly or not? Or are they stealing away money from the company? So how should the company be governed? I am putting the money in Infosys. Now I don't know who's managing Infosys and how they're doing. Right? So there needs to be a proper structure in which, because I don't want the management to be charging their personal expenses in the company account. So how does a corporate governance work? And it's very important right now. Any issue with corporate governance in a company, stay away from that, never invest in a company. It is never advisable to invest in a company which has poor corporate governance. None of these large-scale investors, Warren Buffett, Rakesh Anjumani, none of these guys will be ever investing in companies which have corporate governance issues. It's never going to help. So we'll study a little bit of that. So that is your corporate finance. That is going to be your corporate finance section. Then we move to the portfolio part. when you're looking at portfolio, there'll be a couple of easy theoretical readings as to what is a portfolio, what is a mutual fund. There are different kinds of funds also, so we'll discuss a little bit of that. But when you're looking at a portfolio, let me just ask you one question. Let's say we have a stock A and we have a stock B. Now if stock A moves up, stock B also moves up, and if stock A moves down, stock B also moves down. So basically they are positively correlated. For those who are not understanding correlation, don't worry. So basically the stocks move in the same direction, correct? Now if the stocks move in the same direction, my portfolio will move like this, because portfolio is basically a collection of all the stocks and bonds and everything that you hold. So let's say my portfolio is equal to stock A plus stock B. So if I'm investing, if stock A goes up, stock B goes up. If stock A goes down, stock B goes down. So my portfolio moves in this fashion. Now let me take another example. Suppose if my stock A goes up, stock B goes down, and if my stock A goes down, stock B goes up. Suppose they are moving in opposite direction. So in totality, my portfolio will be moving in a very narrow range, because 1 plus and 1 minus will kind of balance each other, and my portfolio will be moving in a narrow range. Which one do you think is more risky, the first option or the second option? First option, because the movement in portfolio is this, that is standard deviation, that away from your average, how much further are you moving away? And the second one was a very low movement, and you said it was less risky. The standard deviation of movement is less because your returns are more or less certain. So do you understand where the quants is going to come in and how we are studying portfolio? And if the stocks move in same direction, covariance is high. If the stocks move in opposite direction, covariance is negative. So we are not going to be studying maths, we are going to be looking at the application of these kind of simple topics, not difficult sums of maths. We are here to apply these concepts into your finance area. So that is portfolio. So we'll build up a theory, and it's amazingly interesting content. And a little bit of theory on risk management. How is the risk management part taken care of? So that is in your portfolio. You have about 5-6 readings. So how do you form a portfolio? Say for example, there is a 60-year-old guy. Now when you are forming, how will he form his portfolio or make investments? He should have investments which are more short term, which will give more cash, because he is retired. He needs that regular income in order to sustain his daily requirements. Now when I'm looking at a portfolio for myself, I'm looking at 30 years of working life in the future. So I am able to block money wherein the stocks will be like, I can put in money where I don't need to take out after for 10-15 years. So I can block my money. My investments do not need to be generating cash for me right now, right? So an investment portfolio for a 30-year-old person and a 60-year-old person will be very, very different. I'm not 30, I'm younger than that. So it will be very, very different, right? So forming a portfolio for a person is going to be another task. Portfolio is going to be almost 45 to 50% of your curriculum in level 3, because you'll combine all the subjects together. Because when you're forming a portfolio for someone, you need to understand the market, the economics, how the economy is working. If the economy is bad, you should not put in more money in equity. So you'll put in all the things together in order to construct a portfolio for someone. So level 3 would be around 45% would be like a portfolio. So even like a equity will become equity portfolio management. The subject fixed income will become fixed income portfolio management. So everything will be put together, and almost 45 to 50% will be portfolio. An amazingly interesting concept. Couple of formulas are Nobel Prize winning formulas over here. Like it's the core of finance, the basics of finance that we have. Then we move to the next subject. We'll have equity, which will have about 2 study sessions. There are 3 readings in first study session and the 3 readings in second study session. So in the first one, basics, what is equity, what is preference share. So little theory and little irritating, just terminology and all. There will be a few terms which will be new, which will be interesting. That is in your first reading. Second reading is how do you calculate Nifty, Sensex, these indices, how are these calculations done? So we'll study that. Now Nifty, Sensex is basically, Nifty is the cumulative value of 51 companies in India taken together. And we see Nifty's movement to track as to how the Indian market is performing, because it's kind of representative. You've got different industries, 51 top companies into that number. So how do you calculate those indices? And there's another theory, I'll not be able to comment on, to talk about in 2 minutes, your efficient market hypothesis. There's another theory we discuss over here in the third reading. That is also quite interesting. It's very small readings over here. So we'll do it when we come to equity. In the next reading, again, there'll be a little theoretical chapter as to, the different terms and all. That's easy. Then you will look at industry analysis, company analysis. So you need to first understand the economy. Like say for example, when you're looking at Indian economy, we study the demographics and all, and we understand that let's say the education sector would be doing very good, or let's say the health sector is going to do very good. Now within the health sector, we look at the industry, we analyze the industry. Within the health sector also, medicine manufacturing or pharmaceuticals is different, research is different. With the ones with like this Fortis laboratories and all they follow, that is different. And hospitals is different. So even when you're looking at the healthcare industry, there are 4 very distinct categories. One, they are manufacturing medicines. One, the blood testing and all that, diagnostics. One is the hospitals. One is into the research of future discoveries and all. So they're very, very distinct categories. So you analyze the industry, which industry is going to do better. Within the industry, then we find out that these are the 5-7 companies that I want to analyze. And then you look at the company's balance sheets, reports, management kya kar raha hai, what they've done in the past compared to the competitors, and then you do a full-fledged company analysis. And the last reading comes with the company valuation. So there are different methods in which valuation is done. So level 3 focuses on portfolio. Level 2 will have 25 to 30% content, 25% content on equity. So in the last reading, there will be 5 methods that you'll do. Those 5 methods will become 5 readings in level 2. So level 2, we focus a little more on the equity side of it. So that is your equity study session. Then we move to the last book, where you'll have fixed income. There are 2 study sessions on this one. So when you're looking at fixed income, you're investing in certain securities which will give you a fixed rate of return. Suppose I do a 10-year FD. That 10-year FD will always give me, let's say, 8%, 8%, 8% every year. If interest rate increases to, let's say, 9% 2 years later, I will feel very bad because I will still get the 8% return that was promised to me, the 8% interest that I was going to get. So how are the interest rates going to move? How are the bonds going to be priced? So we use the terminology debenture more commonly, but we are going to be using the bond terminology over here. So how does the bond function? If interest rate goes up or down, how the bond prices are reacting? How should we invest? How should we forecast the interest rate? What will be the interest rate after 2 years? So all the interest rate calculations and the fixed income securities calculation is what we do over here. Is everybody with me on this? All right. There is one on derivatives over here. I'll come to this one just afterwards. And there is one on alternate investments. Now, when you're looking at an investor's point of view, there are 3 kinds of investments that you could be looking at. One is you could be investing in equity, wherein you'll be earning dividend and growth and the prices might be increasing. One is you can go for a fixed rate of return over here, wherein you'll get your interest component, and anything other than equity and fixed income, we will categorize it in the alternate investments category. Alternate investments could be investing in paintings. It could be investing in real estate. It could be investing in gold, commodities. So real estate, gold, real estate, commodities, infrastructure. You can invest in like farmhouses separate. Real estate is separate, infrastructure is separate. Infrastructure is roads, flyovers, bridges and all. Your real estate is houses, corporate offices. Farmland is separate. Paintings is an alternate source of investment. Of course, we cannot do valuation of paintings here, but we'll study real estate. Private equity. Now let's say Flipkart. Can you invest in Flipkart? No. There are no shares in the market. It is privately owned. It is not publicly owned. Can you own ITC? Yes, you can buy the shares in the market. Are we all following? Everybody comfortable? So this is what we are looking at when we are talking about alternate forms of investment. So it's going to be a very small 30-page reading or so in level 1. Level 2, it becomes almost 5-6 readings or so. And level 3 will have just a reading on that. Now, when you're looking at from the exam point of view, your ethics is important because that is subjective. So you'll be confused between the right or wrong. So you need a lot of practice. Also, this subject becomes very important, alternate investments, because the weightage is only 4 questions. Now, if there are 24 questions on FRA, even if you mark 10 questions wrong, you've got 14 out of 24. That is more than 50% strike rate. But the moment you make 2 mistakes over here, you go below 50% in the strike rate over here. So alternate investments becomes important because there are less number of questions. So you're able to make less number of mistakes. You cannot afford many mistakes here. Derivatives is also a little less number of questions. I'm coming to the subject, and fixed income is said to be the most difficult topic. So when you're looking at the curriculum point of view, your ethics seems to be more confusing, and it's going to be the same in all the 3 levels, and I'll tell you exactly how to go about this. Alternate investments, I'll tell you exactly in which order to practice, in which order to study, how much of practice, from where to practice exactly for every single topic separately, because I understand this whole part. So alternate investments, like, we'll practice everything. Derivatives we'll do, portfolio will do, because there are 3 subjects with less number of questions. Fixed income is a difficult topic, so I'll tell you where to practice for this one. Now let's say when you're looking at FRA, corporate finance, maybe an equity, maybe a little less practice compared to the other subjects. Of course, if you have time, you go and do more practice. I cannot stop you, it's great. But I'll tell you exactly the priority and the amount of practice and how to go about it. When you're looking at derivatives now, just the last subject I need to explain. Now say for example, if you're scared that the dollar rates will go up or down, as an exporter or an importer, you'll be scared about the rates. Suppose I'm an exporter. If the rupee dollar rate becomes from 65 to 63, I'll be in a problem. Because I was expecting I will get $1 lakh, I will convert it into 65 lakh rupees. But now as an exporter, you'll get the money, you've sold the goods outside. But now if the rate becomes 63, I will get $1 lakh and I'll get only 63 lakh rupees. So I'm losing 2 lakhs. If you're scared about your family being taken care of, you buy an LIC. If you're scared about incurring medical expenditures and not having that money, you take a health insurance. But in business, if you're scared about the dollar rates changing, you're an exporter or an importer. You're scared about the raw material prices changing, because your margins will be affected if your raw material price increases. And suppose you're not able to charge higher price to the consumer, you cannot increase your selling price, but your cost price goes up, you're in a problem. So how do you manage those risks? That is derivatives. I cannot discuss more into derivatives because introducing derivatives takes me 3-4 hours. So it will be very interesting topics. One of the most interesting topics was going to be your derivatives. The content is very interesting. So when you're moving on to level 2, so this is your level 1 curriculum. When you move to level 2, you'll have exactly the same subjects. The weightages might be changed, more weightage towards equity. You'll have, and everything will be built up. You have to understand, you cannot say level 1 syllabus, I don't remember, when you go to level 2. If your level 1 foundation is not good, your passing chances of level 2 becomes lower. So that is why I keep on telling you guys, in level 1 build your base, your level 2 will become very highly probable. Because when I'm doing level 1, I know that you guys will clear. I'm pretty confident if you are putting in that effort. But level 2, if your concepts are strong in level 1, your passing rate of level 2 becomes very high. And it's very important. And mugging up will not take you far. Even if you clear all your 3 levels, you'll never do well in this area if you're mugging up your content. So mugging up has to be given up. And even if you have been doing it in school level, don't worry, because you have new subjects to start afresh. And we'll start every single topic from scratch. So the non-commerce people who have a doubt that I don't know accounts and economics, no worries. For the commerce people who might not have been good with mathematics, no worry about it. Because we'll do everything from scratch. And there are a good number of formulas over here. So we will be proving at least 70 to 80% formulas at least, so that you understand the derivation of the formulas. So you will not forget. I can't remember Bayes' theorem, but I can always derive it within 2 minutes. And I don't need a formula to do the sum. You will not need the formula. I will never make you learn a Bayes' theorem formula. You'll be able to do every single sum without the formula. So don't get scared. So it's a time to start afresh because all the subjects are going to be new. In level 3, we are probably going to do away with this one. Let's say this one and this one, and yeah, about it. So we'll have about 3-4 subjects less and more concentration on the portfolio. But the application of everything is going to be there, even in your level 3 curriculum. So this is more or less the syllabus of the whole CFA curriculum. Is everybody comfortable till this much? Understanding the syllabus, liking the syllabus? Everyone? Alright, just give me a second. Alright, so let me continue. So I just need to discuss quite a few things actually. So we've done the basic overview of what the syllabus is all about. Paper pattern and the exam is done. Eligibility. So when you're looking at eligibility, there are 3 criteria by the institute. One is that you need to be in the final year of your graduation. Second is you need to be a graduate. And the third is you need to have a combined work experience plus graduation of 4 years. And even just a graduation, just a 4-year experience also works. Excuse me. So looking at those criteria, you can start off. So you don't need to be a graduate. You can be in the final year of your graduation also. And in case you have a combined work experience and graduation of 4 years, so you can start off early as well. The registration deadlines I've told you, you will need a credit card and a passport to make the payment. Debit card does not work. You can also make a wire transfer or something in that case. and but the cheaper alternative would be credit card. Now, a lot of people also have an issue that they don't have a credit card, and at times borrowing the credit card becomes difficult. There's one way of doing it that, generally when you want to take someone's credit card, the problem comes with respect to taxation. Suppose you've used someone's credit card and suppose the bill was 96,704. So you suppose give a 95,000 check, use the credit card, right? Once the credit card bill is out, you change the exact differential amount by check, then there will be no tax issues. That is one. And the second one is, a lot of people say that my credit card limit is only 50,000. In most of the cards, you can make 50,000 payment to the credit card, so your balance becomes automatically 1 lakh, and then you can make the institute's payment. Are you understanding? So you can look at that avenue. It will not be an issue. Then your registration process, you need to go to cfainstitute.org. You go to the website, you create an account with a username, password and all. You follow the instructions, you put in your details, and you're able to do that. You need to have a valid, not expired passport when you are registering. On the exam day, you also take a passport. I've seen people making mistakes, on the exam day, their passport is in the embassy because they were planning a holiday. I'll tell you all those things. You're not supposed to do that. The name of the spelling and the expiry date on the passport should exactly be the same when you're registering for the institute. Otherwise, it creates a problem. For those who don't have a passport, immediately apply for one, because I think you'll have time until the registration deadline. And in case you have a passport which is going to expire, after registration and before the exam date, so you register with the old passport, you get that renewed, and then update those details immediately once you have the new passport in hand. You can mail the institute, you can update the details. That will not be a problem. While registering, your passport needs to be a valid passport. And on the exam day also, it needs to be valid. So between that time, if it expires, you need to get it renewed and update the details on the institute's website immediately. So you need a passport and a credit card to pay, nothing else. The institute registration will not be asking for any kind of documents or anything to be sent. So you don't have to send anything, you don't have to scan anything, no college mark sheets or anything needs to be put up. So all that requirement will not be there. Pass rates and pass criteria. Rates I've discussed 35 to 45%. When you're going to get your result, what happens is, against every single subject, your morning afternoon is not separate. You'll get one result for all the subjects. What they do is, below 50, 50 to 70 and 70 plus, and they will put a star wherever your score is falling. So you will not get an exact score. There is no exact passing criteria that you will get 60% in all the subjects, then you pass. So the basic idea based on the experience would be that you're supposed to be clearing every single subject, getting a 40% in every single subject and maybe getting an overall good score. So that is how you're supposed to be evaluating your passing criteria. So you don't have an exact pass rate, but the thumb rule we generally use is that you should be answering 70% or so of the questions on an average correctly, and every single subject, don't let it go below a very big amount. Even if you have 2 subjects with the below 50 category, still students pass. You have 4 subjects below 50, I've seen students passing. With only 1 subject below 50, I've seen students not clearing. So below 50 could be at 0, it could be at 40. So no point thinking about all that. Study very well, study very hard, and try to target that every single subject needs to be in the plus 70 bracket. That is what you need to target. So don't think about all this. So that is your passing criteria. Job prospects and all I've talked about. Of course, the payout, in India versus abroad is going to be different. So if you're looking at like a $70,000 pay and you convert 70,000 into 70 and you say I'll get a 49 lakh rupees salary starting, 45 lakh rupees or so, then that will be unrealistic. I would not want to sell you on that, right? So be realistic. Because the pay and the inflation and the value of living, standard of living and all is very, very different. So I'll not get you into that mode. Alright, the syllabus is already discussed. June and December, the syllabus remains the same. So the syllabus for June 18, December 18, same. June 19, December 19 is going to be the same. When you're looking at the changes from 2017 to 2018, if you want to look at the changes, there are 2 chapters, 2 readings that have been deleted and 1 reading has been modified. So even if someone is using 2017 textbooks and all, it's not going to be a problem. Dividends and share repurchases is 1 chapter that has been deleted. Alternate investments is modified, and derivatives last reading, risk management strategies, is deleted. But derivatives, even though the reading is deleted, you'll have to do almost everything, and I'll do it with you. You have to understand because it is related. I'll tell you exactly when I do derivatives, why it needs to be done. So there are 2 readings that have been eliminated in 2018 and there is 1 reading that has been changed. That is your alternate investments. How to prepare, practice and the material. That comes to another important part. When you're registering on the institute's website, you will have to mandatorily purchase an ebook version of the institute's curriculum. You have to. Ebook is going to be on your laptop, tablet and your phones. You will be able to access their material, their question answers and all of that. If you want a print version, you have to pay another $250 or so. Not advisable, you would not need that much. You don't have to pay that, shell out that much amount of money. You don't have to buy the print version of the curriculum. And the ebook version is mandatory, so you cannot do anything about it. When you're looking at our classes, now what happens is, since the syllabus has been so very well defined, everybody across is using the Schweizer textbooks. So Schweizer textbooks we will not provide you. We can help you with the bookseller's number. You can purchase it from him. So Schweizer is going to give you 5 textbooks. So the material, it is going to give you 5 textbooks which will have all these 60 readings plus 2 books for practice. Now, the Schweizer books is what we'll use as the base books over here, because I don't want to spend so much time on dictating something which is already available and everybody studies from Schweizer. So we'll use the Schweizer textbooks, which I will not provide, you will be purchasing it. We will help you connect with the bookseller. And it is very nominal prices, it will hardly cost you anything and it will not be a problem. The second thing, the 2 practice books you'll not be bothered about. I'll tell you exactly in which order and from where to practice. I'll come to that. So when you're looking at the content, the 5 textbooks of Schweizer will be there. The institute material is a good idea to use, but then I have hardly seen people using it because it is exceptionally extensive and you will not have the time to do it. Whatever extra is going to be there, apart from Schweizer, I will be giving out to you in the class. So either it will be notes dictated, there will be most of the content I try to make you guys write in the textbook itself. You can, because studying from the same place is always easier. So most of the things I'll give it to you over there. There'll be handouts given to you guys. So all the extra additional, whatever notes either dictated or printed form may given, whatever it is will be taken care of. You don't have to worry about anything. But Schweizer textbooks you will need in order to do the classes, be it the live students or be it the video students, D2H students. So you people have to have these Schweizer textbooks. You will need a financial calculator to be purchased. You can buy it from Amazon, Flipkart or any of the websites. And also we can connect you with the same bookseller. He gives the calculators as well. So you can do that. There is a special calculator. You cannot use any other calculator because it's not scientific. It's a financial calculator. The calculator is going to cost you somewhere 2,500 or 3,500. There are 2 versions of the calculator. One is a steel body, one is a plastic body. Most of the students use the 2,500 version and that's absolutely fine. Makes no sense spending another 1,000 rupees. There are hardly any extra functions. It's all the same buttons and all. There is a proper calculator video that is uploaded on YouTube. It's almost an hour, 20 minutes and you will need that to understand all the functions of the calculator. In the beginning, people resist using the calculator because it is new and you are not comfortable using it. But eventually levels 1, 2 and 3, after level 3, now I cannot use a scientific calculator because I'm not in habit. So it's just about habit and nothing else. It's an amazing calculator. Texas Instrument BA2 Plus is a plastic version and Texas Instrument BA2 Plus Professional would be the metal version. So it's either 2,500 or 3,500 for the calculators. You can easily buy the plastic version. It's absolutely not an issue. 80 to 90% of the students that I see are using the plastic version of the calculator, right? So that is Texas Instrument BA2 Plus. Texas Instrument BA2 Plus or the professional version. So with respect to textbooks and the calculator, that is that. Apart from that, you don't have to buy anything at all. So you don't need any other material. Whatever practice, whatever extra is required, whatever handouts, whatever things needs to be given is going to be taken care of by me. So when you're looking at the core material, you're studying not from the institute's material, but from Schweizer books. The practice books, you'll anyways be getting it once you order Schweizer, but then we'll not use it as such. We might use it for a few subjects, so call for it. Keep it with you. Along with that, now the institute gives a lot of good resources. The institute's textbooks we are not buying because it is very bulky, but ultimately we would want to practice from the institute's resources. Because ultimately what happens is there will be, one more thing, there will be so many service providers who will be giving so much of content and you'll be like, I'll download this app and I'll practice from this app, I'll do this over here, I'll do practice from this. There are so many things to do, you'll not be able to do everything. So it doesn't make sense, trying to pick up everything from here and there and getting very carried away. So don't bother about what your friend is doing, what your friend is not doing. Try to follow very simple rule. Now what happens is the institute is already giving you a good amount of resources. Your content is not something that we are looking at with the institute, but behind every reading, there are questions given in the institute's material. So we will not study from the institute's material, but the practice we can do from the institute's material, and it is already there in the ebook form. If you are not comfortable practicing online, as in the ebook form, the tablet form or the laptop form. The ebooks will be there online. So in that case, you can get the printed version of just the question answer part. So I can help you get this from the same, or you can actually print out that part. So you can take a print of just the questions part, or we can help you with that. So you need to just do the practice part from the institute's material. Along with that, the institute on its website will have a test yourself or review test section. So over there are thousands of questions which are there available for practice online. Along with that, the institute will give you 2 mock papers just immediately before the exam. So that mock paper, you will be doing it in the exam environment in our class itself for the live students. For the video students, we'll keep on communicating with you on your WhatsApp groups and all. We'll tell you exactly when to give the exam, and you have to sit at home and actually appear for the exam, for that mock test. So the 2 mock tests that the institute will give you just a month before the exam, you're supposed to be appearing for that in an exam kind of an environment. So you come with your mock test over here and you give the mock test over here. Along with that, we will be providing with you a mock book, which will be subject-wise questions. So let's say in ethics would have, let's say 18 into 4 questions or 18 into 5 questions. So 18 into 4 will be ethics. So mock A, B, C, D, you are supposed to be doing that. You are supposed to be doing that. So for textbooks, you are studying from the Schweizer textbooks, and whatever I am giving you, whatever extra I am giving it to you, you have to do that because you're not doing the curriculum. So whatever extra is there in the curriculum, I'll take care of that. So you cannot leave whatever extra also I'm doing. But other than that, the Schweizer will take care of everything because every LOS is defined 14A, 14B, 14C, and the same ditto LOS is there in the institute material and the Schweizer material. So you will not have a problem with respect to that. Is everybody clear? Other than that, there are too many resources. You'll not have to get bothered. What you will have is you will be given a performance tracker. Now what happens is every single reading number is mentioned over here. Then over here we are doing Schweizer book. Have you completed? Have you completed your self-study? Have you done practice from Institute Mat? Have you done practice from my mock book that I will be providing? Schweizer book 1, Schweizer book 2, institutes review your test. And what I'll do is everything will be light gray, dark gray, white, or that way it will be color coded. So you know which subject from where to do or from where not to do. So you'll have a proper performance tracker and you don't have to worry about anything. It will be all given and written over here. So for this reading, maybe I'll have to do 3, 4, 5 things over here. Like for alternate investments, there are 4 questions. I'll do it from everywhere and it will still take me, let's say even there are, let's say if I do, let's say for 20 papers, 20 into 4 is 80 questions. It will take me hardly an hour and a half. Right, so for alternate, so this will be absolutely color categorized and you will know exactly from where, from how much and what to practice. When you're looking at purchasing, you are supposed to be purchasing the Schweizer books, and you can, if you want, you can just print the print part of the institute materials back questions, not the whole material, only the print part of the institute materials back questions. You can avail that, and that is not provided by me. I will be providing a mock book, all the handouts, all the notes, everything I will be providing, but these 2 things I will not be providing because it's not mine to provide. So it's not my Schweizer books to sell, so you can get that, and whatever is to be done, rest, nothing is going to be your concern. You purchase a calculator, you purchase the Schweizer books, and that's all. And in case you are not comfortable practicing online with the institute's questions, with the back questions, we call it the bookshelf. So you'll get the bookshelf on your phones, apps and your laptops and all. So in case you're not comfortable, you can get the print part of only the questions part. The rest of it, you'll not need anything. Everything else is going to be my headache. So practice mein, there are thousands of things to do. You can't do everything. So I'll give you exactly what to do, from where and how much. After completing this, if you have time, you let me know and I'll tell you what to do. You'll not have time. I'll give you the serial order. I'll tell you what to do because there's infinite amount of resources online. And distracting yourself with this app and this and that and all does not make sense. So I'll tell you exactly, study in a traditional way, the way you've studied in school. And I'll tell you exactly in the first day how to study, how to practice. We'll do another 15-minute session on how to practice once we start with the curriculum. So you know exactly how you're supposed to be practicing, in what order you're supposed to study. In the first sessions, you'll understand how you're supposed to be making your notes. We'll take care of everything. You don't have to worry. And study like a child, making use of 2-3 pens and all. Studying for 3-4 hours at a stretch with that level of concentration, especially for the working people, that is going to be needed. So you will have to do all that. So don't think about it. You study like a child because you're studying at the end of the day. So study like a child. It's always helpful. Concentration, understanding, concepts. You have to understand everything very, very conceptually. So that is your preparing, practice and the material part. The books I'll tell you, we'll let you know exactly where to order and how to order and all that. And Schweizer, yes. Another question I get is Schweizer enough? Yes, Schweizer is going to be enough because whatever extra is there, I'm going to give it to you. Institute material, can I do? You want, you do it, but you'll not be able to. Ultimately, people start with maybe 4-5 readings with the institute material, and then in midway they have to give up because their syllabus has become so lagged. So you'll not be able to do the institute material. You want, you can. Hard copy, institute material, not needed. Only the question answer part, a good idea to have the hard copy because it becomes faster. But you don't need to again order it online because it becomes very expensive. You can just print the question part, or I can help you get that also. You know, the whole printed part together. Calculator you'll have to order. How to use, we'll do it in a session, which is anyways also available on YouTube, because any point of time you want to see the calculator, how to use it, it's an hour and a 20-minute video online. The price is 2,500 and 3,500 for 2 versions. So you are buying Schweizer books, you're buying the calculator, and it's optional. And I don't sell any of this. I just do my classes. So I don't sell any of this because I don't want to get into all that. So where to buy, I can just connect you with the bookseller. And also the institute material part, the end of the question part, the printed part, if you want, you can get that. The time taken to prepare out of syllabus questions. So now out of 120 questions, it's a professional exam. So don't expect that you will get not a single question which is out of syllabus. It technically does not happen out of syllabus because the LOS is so clearly defined, but it could be a couple of questions which might seem a little offbeat, and I think you can manage that out of 120. So if you have a couple of questions, you apply your common sense, your understanding, and attempt it. If it does not happen, it's fine, but you don't get out of syllabus questions as such. So you don't have to worry about that. Exam time management is not a big deal over here. Level 2, it becomes more important. Level 3, essay type becomes a more problematic part, which we will deal with it once we come to that level. Time taken to prepare. Your classes will be approximately 150 to 160 hours. So either it's D2H or the live students. So 160 hours effective classes will be there, and around 20 hours of revision lectures will be available for you guys. Live students will attend, video students will have it at home, and you have to prepare with that. So these are the classes, 160, 170 hours or so, and you'll have to prepare on the basis of those classes. So you will have to make sure. Achha, one more thing which people comment is that there could be another person who could be doing classes in 300 hours. I don't waste time in making you write dictations and all. So I save on a lot of time like that. Every single 100% LOS is going to be covered over here. You'll not have to bother about anything. Not a single line, not a single LOS is going to be missed. Not a single formula is going to be missed in any of the CFA classes, FRM classes, or anything. That is absolutely 100% sure on that. With respect to your time to prepare, so what we do is we also give you a performance tracker in hard copy, and there is one Excel performance tracker also. In the Excel, all you need to do is you write, like, suppose I started preparing this date, this is my exam date, and let's say I need 20 days for revision. And you will just fill up a place where you just mark like a D, done. You'll just mark done for the chapters you've done, and it'll automatically tell you how much to do in which week, and everything is software or it's going to come out automatically. So you'll have that bit. A very simple thumb rule I'll tell you. All this is there, but a very simple thumb rule. I have 60 readings. Suppose I'm giving the exam in the month of June. I want to revise the whole of May. So April, I want to complete my syllabus. Suppose I'm starting preparation in the first week of December. So December, January, February, March, April. I've got 5 months. 5 months is 20 weeks. 20 weeks is 60 readings. So 60 divided by 20, I need to do 3 readings a week. So 3 readings ka video, 3 readings ka class, either ways, and updating with the syllabus at home. So that is what you need to do. In case you're starting off end of December, in that case you have 4 months, 16 weeks, 16 weeks, 60 readings by 16 weeks will approximately give you 4 readings a month. 4 readings a week. So you need to complete 4 readings. So instead of measuring by the number of hours to study a week, I would rather measure with respect to the amount of content. Or let's say 150 hours of classes are there, 150, 160 hours, 16 weeks, suppose 4 months, January to April. So per week how much? 10 hours of classes. So 10 hours of classes plus updating the study part of it along with your classes. So that is how you need. But generally people talk about 160 hours of classes or so, and maybe 200 hours of studying, 300 hours of studying. It depends from person to person. Like I would take more time to study because I would want to absorb everything, and maybe give less time to practice. Someone might want to practice more. They are scared, they panic in the exam, they would want to put more proportion on practice. So we can see all those things. I'll discuss all those things when we do that practice wala part. So that is this part. With the job, it is manageable. A lot of people have this question, is it possible to manage with the job? I'm telling you, it's 10 hours of classes per week. So 10 hours, so maybe 5 hours, you watch it on a Saturday and a Sunday, and Monday to Friday maybe you practice. So you study and practice on Saturday, study and watch the class on Saturday, Sunday and you practice. Or maybe Monday to Friday I will watch 2-3 hours every day in the morning. And the studying part I want to take them calm and compose, full one day off, then Saturday, Sunday I will study. So of course it's going to be difficult, but no pain, no gain. So if you're not studying right now, if you're not pushing that well, you will not be able to rise that ladder, you will not be able to shift your profile. Everybody is getting busy day by day. I have 7 days working, almost 12 hours a day. I'm still studying. So if I can manage, you can manage. So it is you have to do that. So, and you don't look at that what you have to compromise for 6 months. Look at the end result. That if I make these compromises, I'll have this 6 months later. So that is how you'll be able to encourage yourself to study. And I'll keep on doing that in between all the time. So you will have to put in that effort. You don't have an option. If you want to grow, you have to study, and you have to study. Now the way the market is and the economy is and everything is changing so quickly, you have to be very, very well updated with everything that's going on around in the economy. So you have to have a very good financial background and financial educational background and all in order to climb. And the content is very useful. It's very interesting. So you'll get to apply this. So the working people you'll have to manage. Again, divide the number of hours by the number of weeks and you will get a very good idea as to how you're supposed to prepare. Of course, for working people, the earlier you start, the better, because you have less number of hours to cover per week. And also, for those who are starting off early and want to put in that extra effort, you'll be able to practice more and all. So even in these columns, let's say someone is starting in the 4th week, so he will do these practices along with studies. And these two if you get time. Someone who's starting only 3 months before the exam, they'll be able to do only the first 3 columns, and the remaining they'll have to do if they get time during revision. Now, of course, the earlier you start, the more you study, the more you practice, the higher the probability of clearing. But I've seen people preparing in 2 months and clear, and preparing in 6 months and not clear. So we need to do our best, the rest of it will take care of it. He will take care of it, right? So you need to put in your best. You work very hard, try to start early, try to start on time, try to practice, try to study very hard and crack it. And it's a lot of money involved, and more than money, it's about time. If I start working 1 year early in a better profile, think about the amount of salary extra you'll get for that 1 year. So try to equate that cost rather than looking at the cost of just the exam. And you will always get busier. Be it a student, be it a working professional, you'll always get busier. You'll never have your life become easier. Your life will become more and more demanding as in, every time. So don't think that I'll do it next year, I'll defer my exam. Don't have this mentality that, let me start off late and thoda lethargic. You're not very serious in the beginning and then you end up deferring your exam. Deferring is not a good idea and you might not be able to defer. You might have to pay the whole fees, right? And start being prepared very well, because I've seen a couple of students exam 15 days before the exam, they fell ill. They were able to manage the exam because they were prepared from the beginning. Had they pushed everything the last moment, and bad luck, you are not feeling well and you waste 15 days on not feeling well, so you would end up deferring your exam or not clearing. So don't do that. So be very well prepared from the beginning. The harder you work, the luckier you get. So your luck is going to be there if you are working hard, right? So you need to look into those things as well. The next thing is, just give me 1 second, I have quite a few other things to talk about. So your exam deferral does not happen that quickly, it's not easy. In case of medical emergency and all, you can scan all your reports and send it to the institute, and it will be the institute's choice if they will allow you to defer or not. You will have to look at the overall, okay, I'll come to that later. Then when you're looking at the classes, what are the things you will be getting it? One is, we'll be giving you exactly the order of study. This goes for the live students and video students both, and I'll tell you exactly how it works. You'll have the order of study given to you, so exactly in which order you're supposed to be studying, be it at home for the D2H students or the live students, in which order we'll study will be given. For the live students, we'll have weekend classes separate, and there'll be a separate subject that will go on once a weekday. Because I need to complete my syllabus 1 month before the exam. I target to complete the syllabus always at least 1 month before the exam, right? So in order to do that, we have 3 classes a week, 2 on the weekends, that will be 1 subject on weekends and 1 on a weekday separately. The backup for the weekends sessions are also there, which we'll discuss and announce. Weekday also the backup is there. For working professionals, they can take the weekday classes from the very beginning at home, and they can do all the weekday at home and weekend over here. Right, and also in case in midway in between you have to relocate to another city or something, you can take the remaining classes back home. We don't charge or anything for that. For the video students, of course, you'll have all the classes delivered to you on the first day itself. So we'll tell you exactly in which order to study. Then you will be getting a performance tracker. One you will get in the PDF form, which you need to continuously fill up. It will be exactly mapping out as to where to practice, how much and from what. Gray, light gray and all the color coding will be there, so you know exactly how to practice, in which order, where to practice from. Along with that, you'll get an Excel performance tracker, so you can just fill up your update and it will tell you that how much you are supposed to be covering in the next week itself. So that will be there. Then just a second. Then you'll have for the video students, you'll get these videos. So video students will be getting all the one folder which has all folder numbers 1 to 60. So the 60 reading regular classes will be in that folder. So you'll have all the classes over there. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. Suppose chapter name will be Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. You'll have to do those classes. Along with that, the other videos with the live students you guys are going to be attending with me. One is the introduction class, that is what we are doing today as to how to prepare and all. Second will be the calculator video, which is also available on YouTube. Third will be how to practice. So how exactly, which order, we'll spend around 15-20 minutes to do that. How exactly to revise, I'll be doing 1 month before the exam. And how are you supposed to attempt the paper, in which order, and all the tricks of attempting the paper 10 days before the exam. 15 days before the exam. So you guys will do it with me. All these videos will be available for the video students in the other videos folder or something. And the regular class is separate. Revision lectures will be another folder. So you'll have all the revision lectures given to you already from beforehand, subject wise, and you all will be doing all the revision with me. And also you might be getting the revision lectures at home also. So in case you want to revise something very quickly and you've not been able to do it, because of lack of time or something, we'll help you out with that. So that will be your revision classes. Along with that, you will have you will get all the practice material. Everything that you're supposed to be practicing will be provided by us. You don't need to worry, apart from what I told you to purchase. Along with that, you will also get a duration list as to what topic is what duration. So you'll also have an idea as to which topic is going to take how much time. So the previous batch's duration for every single topic will be given to you. So you'll not have any issues with that. Handouts and all will be given to you. Every single LOS 100% will be covered. In case you're missing exams and all, missing your classes and all, everything will be taken care of. So you don't have to worry about it. We'll take care of all your backups and all. So that will not be an issue. You'll get your mind maps and all. So basically it's kind of summary, like before the exam, if you want to read and go through it very, very quickly, you'll have all the mind maps with you. So you'll get all that. Video students get it on the first day. You guys will get it with the subjects and all. So you'll get it eventually, all of that. So a few things for the video students in particular. Your validity is going to be till the exam date, but in case you by chance don't clear the exam, you can just send in the mail of your institute's exam and we'll increase the validity. We don't charge for that. You'll get around 7 views per video, so you can watch the same class 7 times. Nobody uses it. It's just, if there is a technical issue, your video shut down, you want to start, you closed it and again you want to start tomorrow, you just did half the class today. So you have those many views over there. It is only available on laptop right now. So you need a Windows laptop. On a MacBook, you have to partition it, run a parallel windows, because our encryption works that way. When you're running the classes, you'll not be able to run anything on your laptop. So you cannot have a mail on the next side and you cannot just switch between windows. So when our class is running, nothing else runs because encryption is very important. Mobile, you'll be having classes on tablet and mobile phones launched by 2017 December. So that's our deadline. We'll be having, it's already in beta testing and all, so that also will be there. Live students and video students, everybody will be a part of WhatsApp group. So live student, it's please don't ping when is the class time and all that on the WhatsApp group. You will have another number to ask all your questions, all your issues. So this is where you WhatsApp. So even if you want a doubt session or something, don't WhatsApp me directly, WhatsApp her. She'll tell you the time when to get back to me, or when the doubt sessions will be there. So for the live students, generally after the class, before the class, whenever I'm having an off. Like suppose my next class starts 1 hour later. So you do your doubts then. Regularly also on a weekly basis you'll have doubts, but you'll have multiple doubt sessions for the live students. For video students also, we'll give you we'll post in your WhatsApp groups a time slot. You can call between those slots and you can do your doubts. Also video students, it's advisable, you can just take screenshots of your doubts and put it in your group and you guys can help each other out to solve the doubts. It's always easier that way, right? Because everybody is studying the same thing, so it becomes relatively faster. And also in case of other doubts which are not being resolved in your group or with each other on the group, then you can always call us up. You'll have a weekly timing. Maybe in the beginning you'll get once in 1 week or something. During the exams you'll have 2 or 3 doubt sessions a week where you can call up. And even for the live students, you guys will be interacting with me on a regular basis directly. So you'll not have any issues with respect to doubts and all. So that will be that. In case there are 2-3 readings, in case like alternate investments would be a new reading. So for any CFA level courses, any of the courses, in case there are 2 new readings or so, then what we do is we'll send you the lectures, which of course for the video students you get the lectures for the just current batch that is over. But in case there are new readings added, we will mail that separately to you. When you're using, suppose 2018 material you're using, you will find every single LOS, every single topic which is mapped exactly as per your syllabus. So there is nothing that you will find it is old. Any changes, any chapters that are new, we will mail it to you separately if you have ordered early. So that will be taken care of. So you'll not have any problem with respect to the videos. It will be absolutely based on the current material that you're using. For the live and the video both, you can attend 3-4 classes and then enroll for the classes. For the video students, you watch a few classes on YouTube. For every course, we have the first 2-3 lectures online. You like the lectures and then you can enroll. And any issues, you can always WhatsApp her, call her up. Please try to call her in the working hours, and you can WhatsApp. Just leave a WhatsApp whenever you feel like, and she'll get back to you. Mock test happens at the end of the classes. Revision lectures are taken care of. We try to have as interactive as possible the classes and all. So like I'm teaching something, so don't obviously ask in between. But when I'm like done with, like, okay, I'm doing topic A, suppose I'm done with topic A, I'll continuously ask you guys that are you understanding any problem. So whatever questions you're asking, we'll take care of it. So we'll try to make it as interactive as possible, so you don't have to worry. I am a little bit of nagging in nature, so I will check your performance tracker maybe 20 days, 25 days, and if you are bunking regularly, I'll question you guys. So because I need you guys to get through with the exams, so I will be doing that in bits and pieces in between. So if someone is a very regular bunker, then I'll have a problem. So of course, if you have a genuine reason, I can't do anything about it. But you need to be updating it at home. If you're bunking the class, you're supposed to be updating it. I'll see your tracker in 20 days or so. Even the video students, I might not be able to interact you on a personal basis regularly, but then I will keep on putting voice notes in your groups. I'll keep on putting that have you done this much and all that. So all that will be there. So I try to be very, very, I want to participate, because ultimately I'm also putting in a lot of effort. I work 7 days, I work 12 hours a day. I do a lot in order to have your guys have your classes taken care of. So I need that result from you. I have had almost 90% strike rates over the past batches, and I want that to continue. So I will be a little bit after your life. So you have to manage with that, and it is for your good. You want to abuse me, I don't care. You just get through with your exams. The rest, everything is taken care of. You need backups, you need this, that, whatever it is, we'll take care of it, but you need to get through with the exams. So I will be a little bit after your life, especially the live students and video students. Try not to WhatsApp and all while you're watching the class. I'll keep on discussing a lot of these theories and productivity hacks and all once you're, with the class. I'll keep on discussing all these things. Try to study in the morning. Nobody's a night person. Try to, especially for the working guys, before the office study and go to the office. Your productivity is little less in the office, I don't care. But for the studies, it has to be very, very good. Right? So you guys also will have to study. You have to understand, the concepts and everything. So make sure you guys are bearing with me with that part. And it's very important. Just about a year and a half or something, you're done with your curriculum, you'll have your degree, you'll be earning throughout your life. So you'll have to make those compromises right now. So you'll be looking at that. Uske alawa, and I'll tell you a lot of things, like how you're supposed to make your formula sheets and all of that, how you're supposed to be attempting your paper. We'll discuss all of that. Just give me 2 minutes. I think I'm covering almost everything. More or less that's all. After the exams, once your exams are done, and even during the exams, I would keep on, nudging you guys. You need to start reading a lot. It's very important. So I'll tell you what websites to start following, blogs and all to start following. Need to start getting into reading books and all. We'll have a few competitions over here. So you'll have a book reading. I'll tell you how exactly to capitalize on that. So we had the first volume wherein students read business books. They summarized those books and they gave 18 book summaries were compiled together into a magazine. You can add it to your LinkedIn that you were an author to compilation of business book summaries, and you can put it on LinkedIn and all. So you need to enhance your profile. Right? It's very important. Khali curriculum say it's not going to work just with the curriculum. You have to do much more. Your reading, your news. You need to be updated with what's happening in the politics, social, etc. scenario. We'll discuss examples from stock markets and all. You need to start understanding. I'm not going to be encouraging you to become traders. That's not what you're here. But you need to know about the finance of the economy. What exactly is happening in the economy? Absolutely. So you need to be absolutely in sync with that. And also, again, try to be very much in touch. In case any issue of yours is not resolved, you keep my number as well. And this is only WhatsApping, so you just WhatsApp me in case any issue is unresolved. Now you ping on this number and it is not solved in an hour, don't do that. But give it a working day or so. In case any backup, any issue, anything that has not been resolved in a day or two, you get back to me. Video students and live students both. We just need to get you through the exam. So this is my personal number. So you WhatsApp me and I'll take care of your issue, in case it is not resolved. And in case you have technical issues, we'll provide you all the phone numbers. Now video students, very important, when we are giving you instructions, please read that. And you guys also, I'll keep on putting voice notes and all. You're supposed to be listening to that. Now you do this practice, now you do that every 10 days, because I know that, okay, now 3 months is left. Now what am I supposed to advise you guys? Now 2 months are left. So all that I'm providing you guys, you're supposed to be following the instructions. So there'll be another number for the office in case there is any technical issues, like video related technical issues, then you'll have another number. So we'll give you the number. So please contact on the relevant number for the relevant work. Or you can ask her, any problem over here, and ask her. So this number, you just WhatsApp her, you'll get all your queries answered. So, and even if you want a doubt, if you have a problem, you want to meet me, whatever it is the issue, you WhatsApp here and she will tell you when to do what. Right? Any unresolved issue, I'm absolutely there at available at your fingertip. You just need to WhatsApp me and I'll get back to you. Right? I'll get back to you within a day's time. So you need to just do that. Right? Along with that, deferring the exam is not a good idea. I've told you. I've discussed these. Just give me 1 minute, please. Hours to prepare and all I've told you. Video students will not have an issue. Don't worry about it. And we'll give you all the instructions, all the practice material, everything, the mind maps, practice material, every single, how to revise, how to attempt, how to use the calculator, introduction, that is today's class is the introduction part, how to practice and study, how to make notes, everything will be taken care of very, very accurately, very, very correctly, and 100% LOS will be covered. Along with that, deferral not a good idea. Overall development you have to start working with. You have to have very good Excel skills, you have to have very good reading skills, your vocabulary should be very good, you need to start participating in a lot of events, especially the students. When you're looking at working professionals, I know it becomes very difficult, but again, Bill Gates read 142 books last year. You can at least try to do 10% of that. He's also very busy, right? So we need to do that. If you're doing extra, you'll get extra, otherwise it's not going to work. Another question that I get is with respect to work experience. So work experience is not that you have to do an internship for CFA. Whatever work you're doing, you need to give in details about it. You don't need a proof or something. So once your work experience of 4 years is done, you just need to, even if you're doing, let's say, an MBA or a college is there or something, and then you start working a little later, it's fine. So you don't have to complete 4 years immediately after level 3. Even if you have work experience before level 3 along with your CFA level 1, 2 or 3 and post level 3, the experience is going to get counted. It is not an internship. So you're working in a corporate finance department here, there, whatever it is, it will work. You have to present it to show how is it related to finance. So I'm teaching finance, that is work experience, that is relevant work experience. You're working in a, let's say, a factory wherein you're taking care of all the budgeting decisions and the forecasting and the, when to purchase raw material, how to do the whole financing of the company, that is also finance. So you don't have to be always an investment banker or an equity analyst to get that experience. So that is the experience part, and even once you're done with level 3 and you don't have any experience, you can still write in your resume that level 3 passed. Right? So it's not that you cannot show that you are a CFA. Obviously, you'll get experience after you get a job. So experience is not going to be a problem. You don't have to worry at all. And what kind of experience and all. Don't think about all those things. It'll work out. Because obviously when you're doing CFA, your job will be related to finance. And you need to show how is it related to finance. So membership and all comes later. You don't need to worry about it. The resume part. And the practice part also, you will not do all the practice right now. I'll tell you exactly the 30-40% practice you need to do when you are studying, and the ones will come, certain amount will come after once you start revision. And along with that, the difficulty level of questions and numerical or theoretical. So questions will be a mix of numerical questions and theoretical questions. The theoretical questions, when I'm saying it is 100% conceptual questions. So you cannot mug up anywhere. And there will be a good number of conceptual questions also, as in non-numericals. So you'll have to be prepared for that. Difficulty level is not very, very high. It is going to be a mix of questions, and you'll have easy questions, standard questions, and a few difficult questions as well. So you don't have to worry about that. And you have to be a little less distracted. You'll have to focus. I'll keep on giving you those hacks and all as to how to go about it. Especially very important for the working people, because it becomes very difficult for you to practice. I think I am done more or less with all that I had to discuss. Do you guys have any questions for CFA? Just think about it. I'll give you a minute. Think about the questions you have so that even the video students get the answers. So tell me any questions. I actually had noted every single. We'll complete the syllabus a month before the exam at least. And it is only for 2018 that you are having the exam on 23rd of June instead of the first Saturday of June. There is an exception this year for some festival probably. Any questions? Yeah.
now with the CFA program. So how it falls hand in hand with...
So her question is with respect to MSc in Finance and CFA. So when you're looking at an MSc, your CFA is considered Masters in US. So if I want to do a PhD from the US, I will not have to do a Masters because CFA is anyways taking care of that. There are some universities which might have a tie-up with CFA Institute. So it becomes easier for you to prepare since the syllabus of MSc Finance and CFA would be very, very similar. But then other than that, when you're in India right now, you cannot do anything about it. So you do your CFA, you don't get any exemptions as such. Yeah, of course, actually students will get around 6-7 papers exempt, around 6 papers exempt if they are done with CFA level 1 and 2, and 1 more paper with level 3. So around 5 papers with CFA level 1 and 2, and then 1 more paper with CFA level 3. And with the charter also something is there. So around 6-7 papers or so, 6 papers or so can get exempt. But you will not get exemption from any of the exams of CFA doing anything else. Because the exam is very, very credible. They don't give any exemptions. So masters, you don't have to do masters if you're done CFA and if you want to pursue PhD. Like in India, CA is also considered the equivalent of masters. You can do a PhD without doing a masters if you're a chartered accountant over here. Any more questions? Yeah, tell me.
If we are doing professional course other than CFA, then will it be...
CFA Institute has no problem with whatever courses you're doing along with CFA.
Suppose I'm trying to do CA and along that with CFA.
Whatever courses, whatever you're doing along with CFA, CFA Institute has no issues with whatever work, whatever studies, whatever you are doing along with it. You can give your work experience after CFA also. So CFA Institute has no problem with whatever extra you're studying. So these are rules made by some Indian degrees, but doesn't make sense. Any more questions? Everything covered? You understood the syllabus, how to prepare and all? We'll do that. So how to practice and all, you'll have it once the classes begin. Right? Nothing else? No other question? Still you have another minute. Think about it. That's about it? Alright. So this is from my side and we'll start absolutely bang on studying with quants most probably from the next day. So we'll start off with the quant subjects and that's more or less about everything about CFA. So video students might be having a little bit of questions, you know, how to enroll and all that. So you can just go to the website sagcl.com and do that, or you can just WhatsApp here whatever queries you have. You can go through the FAQs, you can enroll the classes. It will not be an issue. I try to make for the video students also very, very interactive. It's very important, right? So that's more or less about it. And I'll also be a part of all the WhatsApp groups that everybody is there. So I'll always be there. I'll always be interacting and replying and all. Right? But don't put nonsense in the group and all. It becomes very distracting, not for me, but for other people. Right? So don't do that. You want to have any query answered, you ask over here. Only academic questions, you put it in the group. And if there's any query that has not been reverted back to, I'm always there. Right? So this is more or less all about your CFA level 1.